If cities, particularly like Sacramento or other, are to grow and their economy is to grow, then that is going to mean more than likely more goods movement. You're going to look at more infrastructure. And I represent the industrial manufacturing area of Sacramento, which also is the largest area for our entire county in manufacturing. So for us, looking at, okay, how do we make sure that we're growing our economy, which will likely mean a larger number of heavy-duty vehicles in the area, and at the same time, manage those emissions. So some of the conversation that is happening now with my colleagues at CARB and also locally is, how do we make sure that we are supporting that effort? Because as I learned from Dr. Robert Wasmer, who's my master's professor at Sac State in economics, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Okay, you know, someone is going to have to pay for a cost in one sense. In cities, it's through ratepayers and also consumer costs. And what we do notice, also particularly now, is that when we drive up consumer costs, it affects our most low-income community, and in many cases, those tend to be our Latino communities in the area. So we need to make sure that we're being sensitive to that. Also, there are regressive costs, and because of Proposition 218, some of the conversations that we were having is that cities and counties don't have the ability to move money around, say, from one ratepayer who maybe has an income of $1 million a year versus a ratepayer who has an income of $50,000 a year. You know, you aren't allowed to change that rate structure for, say, your sewer fees or whatnot. In that sense, you have to have an equal pay. So because of that, those in the low-income area are affected the most. So if our transportation costs for our garbage trucks, our sewer trucks, our water trucks go up, then that means that our ratepayer costs go up. So those are some of the conversations that we're having at the same time. And this is where, the conversation of natural gas, RNG specifically come into play. Because many municipalities have also looked at this as saying, yes, we have an obligation to figure out how we reduce our particulates, how we reduce our emissions, but doing it through a way that we also have to move big vehicles, and big vehicles around like your garbage truck that move every day. The city of Sacramento just invested a significant amount of money in expanding and renewing and updating its natural gas refueling facilities. And now we're looking at, okay, if there are changes in state law that mothball those costs, that's going to be an impact for our ratepayers and our taxpayers, because as cities are right now facing contraction, there's no general fund money to backfill those needs. So that means that the only way to pay for that is by increasing rates. And if you want to get real political locally, talk about increasing garbage rates. Anybody, it's like, that's like the, you could talk what happened in D.C., but you tell someone you're going to increase their garbage rate, and they get, but all of that has to do with transportation. So one of the biggest conversations we're having is, how does this affect our municipalities, and what are the different layers of the lasagna, if you're going to say, the energy stacking that we can do?